Hey folks, Arian, Tyson out of St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm just coming at you to shoot a special video. Let me preface my comments by saying that this video does not reflect the views of New Edition or the individual members of New Edition. These reflect the thoughts and views of Arian Tyson. With that being said, I want to address what's going on right now with the Bobby Brown situation. And I want to give you something to think about for those of you who are watching this video, for those of you who may come across this video because someone shared it or it got retweeted or something. For those of you who don't know, as of right now, New Edition is on a tour that they're calling the All Six Tour. And they are having a lot of success, rave reviews. But there was one instance on one of the shows, which was Wednesday, July 2nd in South Haven, Mississippi, which is just outside of Memphis, where Bobby Brown was taped leaving the stage when all six members of New Edition were performing If It Isn't Love. So, of course, it made it to TMZ, and TMZ just had a field day with it. Then it's been reported by TMZ that Bobby Brown has quit the New Edition tour. Now, as unapologetic of a supporter of New Edition as I am, I can still be very objective about New Edition. The reality is that New Edition yesterday issued a statement on their official website, officialnewedition.com, where Bobby is not going to be part of shows right now because his focus needs to be right now on his health, and that they have assured the fans that no matter what happens, they're going to give 110% until he returns. And I made sure I said the until he returns crystal. I'm sure I made that crystal clear, because you're saying that he quit the tour. If he quit the tour, that means that he's not coming back. So what are you going to believe? Are you going to believe a website that specializes in reporting garbage? Or are you going to believe in a statement that's coming from the group, that's on their official website? I'm going to believe the official statement. And what amazes me is that you really have seen the ugliness come out of people in reference to this situation with Bobby Brown not being able to keep up with some of the steps on the routine of If It Isn't Love. One thing that I cannot stand is when someone reports a story, but they don't tell the whole story. And I'm a firm believer that there's multiple sides to every story. Now, I'm not going off of hearsay. I'm going off of what I know, because the concert that they're addressing, even though I'm from St. Louis, I'm in St. Louis, I was at that show in South Haven, Mississippi on July 2nd. I was at the show. And the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of details that TMZ has left out. First of all, did they point out that that is a routine that Bobby Brown originally was never part of, because they are performing a routine that was done on the album that he was not part of, because he had already started his solo career, and that song and that original video was shot in 1988 when they did the Heartbreak album. Did they point that out? No. Did they point out the fact that the If It Isn't Love song was actually the last song that they performed after being on stage for almost an hour and a half? No. Did they point out that on no tour had Bobby ever did the whole routine with the other 5 members of New Edition, when they've been doing that routine for 26 years? So if you're doing the same routine for 26 years, you should be able to do it in your sleep. Now, I have been to not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 concerts with New Edition. 3 of them was all 6 of them. 3 of them since 2012. And at no point in time, each show, they always perform If It Isn't Love. At no point before this tour, where all 6 members of New Edition did the entire routine from a song that was recorded 26 years ago. Even when New Edition received their Lifetime Achievement Award from Soul Train, and If It Isn't Love was the song that they performed, all Bobby Brown did was the intro to the song, was the steps to the intro. Where normally you have the 2 outside members started, and then the 2 inside members join in, and then the center member joins in. And if you don't believe me, watch the If It Isn't Love video. I'm telling you what I know. But here's the deal. If you watch the footage from the Soul Train Awards, he did those steps. And then after they went into the rest of the routine, what he would normally say, when I say in, you say E. While the other 5 members did the regular routine. Then I hear stuff about, he needs to lose weight. I agree with you. Yeah, and the thing is, he actually has, because he's smaller now than he was back in 2012. But people don't want to look at that. What they do want to look at is his past. What they want to look at is the fact that, yeah, he used to do drugs. all type of drugs. But if the man has said that he's been clean and he's been able to go on tour, not only as part of New Edition, but as part of the Heads of State, which is comprised of him, Johnny Gill, and Ralph Tresvant, why is it that nothing is ever mentioned about that by TMZ? Why is it that they choose to only focus on the negative versus the positive? And one thing that we know about society, they love to focus on negativity. They love to kick a person when he's down. And it disgusts me. It disgusts me. Because the fact of the matter is, just like you believe that you're not your past, Bobby Brown is not his past. But the problem is, people don't want to let go of his past. If the 5 other members of New Edition can let go of his past and welcome him back with open arms and say, you know what, you are a brother for life, why can't people let go of his past? And people want to dog him for his relationship with Whitney Houston, saying that he destroyed Whitney Houston's career. And I know Whitney Houston is no longer with us. Trust me, I know. Because she died on my birthday. Trust me. The fact of the matter is this. It has been documented and said that Whitney Houston actually introduced Bobby Brown to a lot of the drugs that he had an addiction to. But the fact of the matter is, the brothers from New Edition, his brothers from New Edition, never gave up on him. That story should be celebrated. But for some reason, it's glossed over by the media. And that's entirely unfair. Here's the bottom line, and I'm going to wrap this up very shortly. Bobby Brown, in spite of everything that he's gone through, is still performing, still shutting it down with the members of New Edition. And I know he shut it down because I was at that very show where he ended up walking off stage because he had to catch his breath. I was there. I didn't have to look at a video. I was there in the front row. So I feel qualified to talk about it. But he came back and finished the show. And I think that is completely unfair for him to be judged by one moment versus looking at everything. The fact is, he went on for a couple of shows after that in other cities. I believe Atlanta, Louisville. That's some of the shows that has happened after that. Charlotte, after that. And they shut it down. They did their thing. But TMZ reported this. They reported this a week after the South Haven show. Before people continue to throw stones at Bobby Brown and say that he's a quitter and say that he's still on that stuff, Why don't you take a look at your own self? Because clearly, you wouldn't say that you are your past. And you wouldn't like when people judge you by your past. And I don't care how holier than thou you think you are, you portray yourself to be. We all have a past. But we are not our past. And neither is Bobby Brown. So I'm going to leave you with this, something to think about. In 2004, on New Edition's last studio album, One Love, there's a song on there. There's an interlude on there, track number 10. It's the title track. Johnny Gill says some words that I'm going to leave you with. He said this. He said, as a young man coming up in the game, I seen a lot of things, accomplished a lot of dreams. On my road to stardom, I seen some things I didn't understand. Like how another man can down another man when he's your brother, man. Why don't you give him a hand and show him how to do it? No, no, no. Then Ralph came in and said, we ain't always gotta fight like they say we do. But we can come together and make a power move. Then Johnny came in and finished and said, be one with the music and let the harmony speak for itself. We don't need no help. We got our own mission to give. We gotta grow. To the boys of New Edition, continue to make those power moves. One love.